Let's rate the movie from 1 to 10.
I'd say I give it a 6.
A 6. Take his black card.
1 to 10, I give it 8. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10? All right, it's a
Yes,
little
sir.
bit better. All right, the ancestors are smiling upon you, sir. I'm also going to give it a 6. I'm with Hoarding Pieces. Now, y'all can't take my black card because I'm really, really, really black. All right, so come try me.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Oh,
A 9 from Vulcan, who is typically very stingy with his high praise.
I have a caveat,
right,
but we'll get into that.
Also, I'll say like a 6 isn't bad. I'm not saying the movie that doesn't mean the movie was bad. It just was. I think it was just a good movie.
For me, I gave it a 6 because I evaluated it as a movie. I did not evaluate it as a cultural think piece. I just went to the movies to see a movie, and to be honest with you, it could have gotten a higher rating from me if y'all hadn't gassed it so much. I went in there expecting, Django, Michael B. Jordan, and this is just me. Don't kill me. I just think he's an okay actor. He doesn't elicit any real emotions from me when I watch him. You usually do not give high praise so easily. So I'm very interested in hearing why you gave it a 9 out of 10.
Well, y'all, everybody out there that's listening to me right now, the reason why I gave such a high rating is I'm not really into the horror movie genre. Somewhat to Freshly's point about him not judging it based off how it spoke to people culturally or the timepiece element. He's just judging it as a movie. I'm judging it specifically as a horror movie, which I'm not a big fan of. I rarely watch the horror movies. I think it's the best horror movie I've ever seen. Quick then, your top 2 Fresh, or top 2 or 3 vampire movies.
Obviously,
we can't put Blade. We can't put Blade in there.
That's the easy one. Okay,
but so no Blade.
Blade is all of those.
Yeah.
All right, Underworld.
I'd say All About the Benjamins. Hold on, we talking about vampire movies? My bad.
Vampire movies. Lock in.
I was just messing. My 2 is Vampire in Brooklyn and Daybreakers.
Transylvania. Big Transylvania.
Transylvania is disgusting. You wilding out.
Yeah, the animation.
Take Blade out, Lost Boys, and I'm gonna go back in the 70s. I'm gonna go with Blackula. I'm going with that.
The Black exploitation.
Yeah, he wild.
I'm going old school with it.
You got? What's your top 2 vampire movies?
I mean, Priest. That's gonna definitely be in there.
Top?
And then Priest is gonna be in there. And then I might have to go with Sinners, y'all. Sinners.
Really? High praise. Listen, Vulcan. You know what? Hey. I know what it is. He don't have a collared shirt on right now. He has on a t-shirt. Vulcan, listen, go back and watch the shows. I don't know if you ever seen Vulcan without a collar on, buttoned all the way to the top. He's in relaxed mode today. All right, so let's last him again next week, and we'll see what he said. Was the movie over or underhyped?
Overhyped.
It wasn't overhyped. I'm gonna have to say underhyped.
I think it was overhyped.
I'm gonna go underhyped.
Said it was overhyped. Why do you think it was overhyped? In 2 minutes or less.
I'm not going back to the movies to watch that 3 or 4 times. Some people even said it was one of the best movies in 30 years. Insane.
My why was overhyped, and I'm going very specific. Someone called it a masterpiece, and I also saw the thing where, like Hoarding Pieces said, someone said it's the best movie in 30 years. Now, I'm all for supporting Black-owned, Black-centric things, and I'm probably gonna go back and watch it a couple times because, like I said, it's a good movie. But masterpiece is wild work. I don't care what nobody says. It's not a masterpiece. If it's one of your favorite movies, that's fine. But I love. Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. I ain't gonna tell nobody it's a masterpiece.
For me, it's underhyped. And let's go back to the same point that I made earlier. It's underhyped for its genre. I think in the horror space, it's underhyped. To me, it's one of the best horror movies I've ever personally seen. Well, I think it's important to say masterpiece in the horror genre. I would definitely say a lot of horror movies. It's the whole jump thriller thing or the jump scare thing, that's the bulk of that movie right there. The plot is not that great. The character development is typically not that great in those kind of movies. From my understanding of that genre, they did a really good job with this. And as far as the character development, I thought they did a really good job of distinguishing between the twin brothers. I wasn't sure if Michael B. Jordan was going to be able to be two different people. Like, that's Michael B. Jordan, two different suits. But I was convinced that was two different guys. I'm not even the biggest fan of
We got to talk about that. Yeah,
I'm not even the biggest fan of him as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
So if I think anything's overhyped, I think he's a little bit overhyped. Even though I think he was a great Killmonger. And I think he was a decent Creed, and I thought he was really good in this movie right here. So I think when it comes to this movie right here, I think it was underhyped in the sense of, for the genre, I don't know if you can do much better.
What can or should we learn from the themes within the movie? Horton Pieces, what do you think?
If somebody holds their hand out like this to get their money back, you don't give it to them. That's what we should learn. First off, throw it at
the way I would have threw that man money in the dirt,
man.
That part killed me, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. That whole, like, he stuck his arm out there and got snatched out the building. Like, come on, man. You'd be like,
nah, hey, Vulcan, we don't want to hear no negative critiques from you. You gave it a 9. You called it a masterpiece.
Yeah, it was very telling watching the main vampire, how he was able to will people into his cult.
But biting them in the neck?
That's pretty good.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Fighting. It was in their blood. That's how vampires
force or choice.
You're my cult now. You're my cult.
You remember.
As for me, one of the things that I did like about this movie, that I think everyone should take about, is Black ownership in a space where it's not common or wanted. And they went out and they bought cash the building and owned it, so they can do their own thing. They can do the type of music they want, type of dancing that they want, all that good stuff. They didn't come into town and look for like handouts. They got big boy money or grown man money and grown man bullets. You understand what I'm saying? Plato y plomo.
The themes of the movie, learning from, I didn't like. It was interesting to have one brother's with the white passing the white lady, and the other brothers with this big Black woman. I didn't like that. I didn't like why did he have to have a big old Black woman? Because the average Black woman right now weighs 187 pounds.
Well, thematically, they had to. You saying he needed a better looking Black woman?
Why couldn't they give him like a Dorothy Dandridge or somebody like that? Betty Boop.
So basically, what you're saying, she was too fat and black for you.
I just wonder why. A lot of times, a lot of the Black movies,
basically.
When you look at Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio's wives, in a lot of movies, they get attractive white women.
That's why you didn't give it a 10. Now I get it now.
Oh wow!
I'm like, why can't he get a comparable Black woman as his thingamabobber?
His thingamabobber is crazy.
And she's wasn't an unattractive Black woman, by the way.
Here to stand on my soapbox and proclaim that to the world.
On this show.
This is the hottest show on the planet right now.
What's the debate?
Ain't no debate.